Many men go fishing all their lives without knowing that it is not fish they are after. Henry David Thoreau. All right, sorry for late start, but yeah, let's come on in if you want. The Zoom link is in the description box if you are watching on YouTube or on vim.tv, which is through Steemit. So we could talk about fishing, all things fishing. So if you want to talk about the environment with regards to fishing, there you go. Or even the quote, and I'll start it off with the Henry David Thoreau quote. I was searching really fast for a quote to use just to set up this episode. What I should be doing is setting up everything beforehand, but I didn't get to that point. Anyways, there's an question: how does Thoreau's aphorism apply to today's society? Many men go fishing all their lives without knowing that it is not fish they are after. And it looks like it's a misattribution, misquotation, and I didn't know that till I was looking up. It's like, hey, what does it mean? And here it goes. The closest parallel in a non-Thoreau text is from E.T. Brown's Not Without Prejudice, Essays on Assorted Subjects, page 142. When they go fishing, it is not really fish they are after, it is a philosophic meditation. And here's a misquotation by Michael Brahman in his A River Seen Right, page 156, in which he wrote, clearly paraphrasing and not quoting, I think it was in Walden where he wrote that a lot of men fish all their lives without ever realizing that fish isn't really what they're after. He may have been paraphrasing from Thoreau's journal, January 26, 1853, and this is what it says. It is remarkable that many men will go with eagerness to Walden Pond in the winter to fish for pickerel and yet not seem to care for the landscape. And I'll look for some videos of me fishing in Walden Pond in the winter. It is beautiful. Of course, it cannot be merely for the pickerel they may catch. There is some adventure in it, but any love of nature which they may feel is certainly very slight and indefinite. They call it going a-fishing. And so indeed it is, though perchance their natures know better. Now I go a-fishing and a-hunting every day, but omit the fish and the game, which are the least important part. I have learned to do without them. They were indispensable only as long as I was a boy. I am encouraged when I see a dozen villagers drawn to Walden Pond to spend a day in fishing through the ice, and suspect I have more fellows than I knew. But I am disappointed and surprised to find that they lay so much stress on the fish which they catch or fail to catch, and on nothing else, as if there were nothing else to be caught. That is pretty nice. And please, I think what I'm going to have is, if no one comes in, I'll try to go on as long as I can, but probably just no longer than an hour. If someone comes in, we can talk for an hour. And of course, if you don't want to talk fishing, we can go ahead and segue to something else. I'm going to show a video. Since we're on the subject, I'm going to try to find some videos of Walden Pond. And actually, it might be easier if I find a video that I've already uploaded. There should be. And let's find one in the winter. Yeah. There's two. There's Walden Pond fishing. There's the snow, but there's no ice. There's Walden Pond ice fishing. And I think that's it in the wintertime. That's a good one. And this one. Oh man, this hurts every time I think about it. Okay. That's it for now. Let's look at these videos. Now, one thing about fishing in Walden Pond, this is when it was rainy and the snow is melting, and good thing there's no ice on top. And let's go and watch. Also,
got it.
If you want to know what rod and reel I'm using, it's in the video in the comments section. And all the info is there. I just kind of stopped doing all this.
It's biting.
And you can see in the background, that's the walking entrance. There's the, I guess, the cabin for lifeguards and stuff like that. It's a long walk all the way over here. It's a good spot, though. And this is a small one, 12.5 inches fish. Just to let people know, this is what I caught in the video, 12.5 inches, and I used to put all the fish length and the weight. I might start doing all this again, like actually get the temperature and the water temperature and a whole bunch of other stuff. But lately I've been fishing in a hurry. So I don't even get time to set up my cameras the way I want it. I just put on my GoPro strap and my waterproof camera and just let it go and see if I catch anything while I'm fishing. So hopefully I get more time sometimes to fish and do it a certain way, because I do want to Tenkara fish and do a video on that one, fishing for trout. And anyways, let's keep going. Just I mean, one thing that I always tell people about, if you can get to Walden Pond, and it's not even the winter time, it's actually the summertime. It's get there, the sun's gonna rise about 5 around that time. You have to go really early, and the sun's not risen yet. It's starting to rise, and you start walking out there. I think some people might be scared because it's totally dark, but once it starts lighting up, you just see on top of the water, it's just foggy. It's just steam coming from the pond or something. I don't know what it is, but it's just a big mist. And you know, as the sun starts to head on over, the mist rises and it just kind of clears up, and it's just beautiful. No one's there. The only time I've seen anyone there was this guy. Where's this guy? Let me move it back real quick. Oh, wait. What's his name? I haven't seen this guy or talked to this guy in a long time. Where is he? Ted. I filmed him catching a 4-pound, 20-inch brown trout. Yeah, he was the only one that I saw when I fished at Walden Pond early in the morning on the summer. And it was just beautiful. Winter is a different story, because like winter, you want the sun to be there. You don't want to ice fish out in the dark. Of course, there's not going to be a mist or a fog that lifts from the pond itself. But you get there, and here, I'll show you what it looks like when there's water over, or the ice over Walden Pond. So, I mean, you can see all the footsteps. Sometimes you'll be there and there's no one been there. All those footsteps in the snow, they're gone. It's nice to see someone there out there ice fishing, because then I know that the ice is thick enough and I don't have to just poke holes every few feet just to see how thick the ice is. But it's on a calm, not so windy day after snow and there's ice over it. It's just breathtaking. Like there's I went ice fishing with my daughter, and I'll see if I could find a video of that. But basically, when she was younger and she went with me, she thought going ice fishing was playing in the snow, building snowmen, and making snow angels and things like that, because that's what we did. I taught her a little bit of ice fishing, and she got bored after a while, and so she just started to play out in the snow. And so yeah, we just enjoyed playing out in the snow and the ice at Walden Pond. So I'll play a little bit more of this. Wow. Oh, wow. That's deep snow. Now, the great thing about ice fishing is you have these little contraptions, and they could be any manner of contraptions. And gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Someone help me if you're watching. But you just drill a hole through the ice, and you pretty much put a live bait on a string. And basically, when a fish bite, they pull on a string. What you do is you set some indicator. Most of the time, it's a flag that's lifted up, and it would go down. And then you've got a fish on a hook, and then you would just go ahead as you're retrieving it, because the fish has got the thing in its mouth. You still have time to set the hook. Most of the time it's going to be in the fish's throat or the stomach, but sometimes you'll be able to get it on the cheek. So you'll just go to the flag, you'll pull it out of the water, and you'll get the line. And once it starts getting tight, you'll just go ahead and pull a little bit tighter, set the hook, and then you'll get the fish out. It's pretty fun to do. And what you do is you just, if you're not actively ice fishing and jigging, you're just talking or enjoying just nature. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey,
how's it
up?
going? Any bites out?
I got one hit, but be careful.
Yeah.
You don't even need a naga.
Really? Is that thin?
Chop, choop right through.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're right there, about 18 feet deep.
Okay, that's a good spot. I usually go over there, but
Well, that was open 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I know.
You saw it,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so I'm at Walden Pond, and it's not the best ice fishing conditions, but it's not bad. The ice isn't too thick. It's about 4 inches, but it was supposed to be partly cloudy or mostly cloudy day. It looks like it's more like a partly cloudy, not mostly cloudy. There's a few ice fishermen. There's a couple that's been out here for a while. I can't get to some of the spots I want to because the ice ends up being like an inch or 2 inches thick. So I'm just standing at the thick 4 inches or more. I've had a few nibbles, but nothing really big yet. So we'll see. All right. Oh, it's about 47 degrees. I started off around 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was about 36 degrees then. All right, let's see if I catch it. And just so you know, you'll see a lot of bending or a lot of stuff like that. At this point, when I was kind of new to filming everything, I used super wide angle lens. So if things look bendy, it's because I'm using super wide angle lens. Got my first catch of the day, yellow perch. It's about 10 inches. I think I got one. Oh, I think it came off. Nope, it's still on. Ooh, that's a little one. It's not worth it. I'm gonna let this guy go. So I've got my drag pretty light just because I'm using a light line. It's a 4-pound test, I think. And if you pull too hard, you can break your line because the ice can accumulate on your line, your fishing line. And sometimes the edges of the hole can get icy and sharp. And yeah, you don't want to have your reel too tight, so I have it pretty loose. Whichever way works for you, really. That's all that really matters. All right, you're lucky, buddy. I'm letting you go. Oh yeah. All right, let's go. All right, you're not gonna shake it off. Oh yeah. All right. Oh, you got my worm. All right, that's fine. There you go. You got some dinner, lunch. All right, so there's that one. Here's one that I lost, and this is going to be in full motion. Someone else was filming this while I was fishing. Oops. So it's not in great quality. I dove onto the ice and reached my hand in freezing cold water just to get that trout. What had happened, and I'll just show you. Oh yeah,
The Sean.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Don't lose it. Oh, it's that brown trout. He came back for another round.
Oh, is it a brown?
I can't
It's
see.
a little bit tough. Holy crap. Holy crap. It's a huge one.
Oh! You dropped it? Oh man, that big one. Oh man.
My goodness, that was huge. Oh man, so that was Bill that was filming it. Kathy B, I'll see you later. You should go ice fishing. If you live near me, I'd take you ice fishing. I know it's not for everybody, but oh man, so great thing about this is it's a lesson learned. I'd never caught anything that big on such a small fishing line, and what I would have done differently is just taken a little bit slower, and also just been a little bit more patient. So what happened is the fish, I got right on its lip, but what it did was I was lifting it out of the water, and I should let go of the rod and just kind of reached in with my hand and gotten the fish with its mouth, with my finger in its mouth. And that's what I should have done. Unfortunately, I didn't know. I mean, I did go and get my glove and my arm all wet afterwards trying to get the fish after it loosened the hook out of its mouth. It hit its head on the side of the ice entrance, and it jarred the hook out of its lip. And that thing was huge. I mean, just the drag that it was pulling on my reel was incredible. And when you can see the close up, and here's when there's a close up, and I'm gonna just do a slow motion reel playback of it. See how big it was. You can see the body. That's the underneath part, the white part, and you see I've got it hooked right on that lower lip, and as it's coming out, and you can just see the girth of that thing. I mean, that's just its head, You'll see it coming up a little bit more, and you'll see its mouth opening. Oh, I actually had the hook on the top of the lip, and just look how thick it was. That hole from that auger is 7 inches diameter. 7 inches diameter is the size of that hole, and that thing almost couldn't fit through. I'd say the girth is about 5 inches, 5.5 inches girth of diameter. Really big for a brown trout. And there's it coming out. And what I should have done is I should have had just get that ice fishing rod that I had, get it close. If it drags its reel, that's fine, but don't have it come up out like I did. Because my line probably wasn't even it could have probably broken my line, but what it is, it just jarred the jig head out of its mouth, and then just reached in, grabbed it by the mouth, and just pulled it out. And I would have had a nice, probably I'd say that was a 22, 23 inch brown trout. I caught through the ice and I missed it. And slow-mo a little bit more. See how it just hit its head? It just went bam right on top of the ice on that side, and it loosened the jig head out of its mouth, and I lost the fish. The one that got away, and I'm talking actual fish. That was heartbreaking, but you know, it was one of those great experiences. Oh man, let's see. And of course, this one, Vil catches 22-inch brown trout. That's got 12,567 views, and it is an amazing. It was an amazing day. Just the snow is kind of melting away, and well, a lot of weird stuff also ensued. But I mean, as far as the fish, what's great about this one is that Vil, he passed away, but he typically eats everything he catches. If it's legal size limit or if it's huge. I mean, there are some of us like me. I think Mike is there right there, and Rob. Like, we'll let the big ones go because if they're gonna like lay eggs or like inseminate the eggs, you want them from the big fish. And this guy. This fish that's 22 inches, a brown trout, is probably like, I don't know, 8 to 10 years old. It's been out there for a long time. It's nice to just catch him, let it go, and let other people catch him and eat the. I mean, if you catch something like anything from 15 to 19 inches, those are good eating. Anything older than that, some people say they don't taste the difference. Some people say, yeah, you could taste that it's a little bit more gamey, but we all like catching the big ones and then just letting him go. So him to actually catch a big brown trout and letting it go, that was a rarity. And of course, hilarity ensues as well. I was the only one wearing waders, and the water was super cold. So I actually had to go in when he let it go back in the water. It was still kind of coming up, not exactly going all the way down, because it's probably out of the water quite a while, trying to catch its breath, and I pretty much went in the water to help push it.
He's good.
Where was it? Yeah. But yeah, he was good afterwards. You'll see here that I'm going in the water with my waders on. It's freezing cold, even with my waders on, and I'm just pushing the trout until it can go away on its own. So I've got it kind of in the net, but it's kind of open. Just wait till it just stays underneath, and it stayed under, popped up for a little while, went on there, and then we didn't see it again. And we're just keep looking over the surface to see if it's okay. So yeah, that was a crazy moment, which was awesome. And I'll just go and play this back Wow, nobody coming in, nobody watching. That is something. Didn't realize that was gonna happen tonight. All right, so let's just play back a couple of videos and ended at about an hour. We got about half an hour left. Here we go. Wow, that's a pretty one. All right. I know it's cold. I'm sorry. Sorry about it. So some of you are going, man, that's brutal. So the most humane way to kill a fish is called ikejime. It's a Japanese method. So what you do, and you'll find this in many sites, official sites even. So what you want to do is you want to bap it really hard over the head. And I've got a fish bat. You can use a rock. Some people use a heavy stick. So bop it right over the head. And after it's done, you want to get a pike, or something that's like a fashioned with a long nail. And what you do is you skewer the top of the head and get it between the brain. And then once you do that, you also want to go in and get the I forgot what you call it. But if you go to a site called ikejime, you can actually see the different types of fish and how to humanely kill it. And I'm just gonna show you now. And what's great about this site is it has all sorts of fish. So let's do North America, water, freshwater, it doesn't matter, East Coast, West Coast, and select fish group, salmonids, which is trout. We'll go with trout, rainbow trout. It's got a really good showing you exactly where to skewer where the brain stem is. Firm knock to the head before being placed in the ice slurry after bleeding. So what's great is you can see the X-ray version of it. So here's the eyes. What you want to do is get it a little bit of a diagonal. So there's this little hard plate where the head, the gills meet the body. So that's where you want to angle it that way, downward. So 45-degree angle from that little where the head meets the body. That's where the brain is going to be. That's where you want to kill it. And then over here, you see this part, the skeleton, the body skeleton. You want to also get that pike into that area. So what I would typically do is I would spike it here, and then I would move over and spike it between the head and hit that part. Or what I typically do is I'll get it between the eyes, going straight that way, where you get the brain, and then go a little bit lower, and you'll see the fish twitching. And that, I mean, after this, the fish is dead. All I do when I get this part is to stop it from twitching. So what's great is it tells you everything you need to know on ikejime.com and different types of fish. Some fish you want to skewer twice with the pike. And I think, let's see, if we talk about bass, not that I'll eat bass, but if you notice, I think when the bass, it shows lateral and dorsal. There's certain fish, I think it's I know it's mostly saltwater offshore. Let's say bluefish. There's some fish that you want to get in two places, the front and the tail end. I can't find them right now, but maybe I will. Let's see. Tuna, maybe. Let's see if a bonito, we gotta do it twice. No. Anyways, there are certain fish you want to get not just the brain, but also in the back where you get the, I don't know what you call it. Kathy B, 1991 Mother's Day. My eldest son and me spent the day fishing. We good yellow perch. Oh, that's good. Yellow perch. Yes, quick kill is best. Yep. So that's the method that I use to kill the fish. I lost that bat that I used in the video, but I got another one, and I used the same pike. I've lost that pike too and got another pike, so I use the same thing. It's just the quickest way to kill it and the most humane. So just something else to know.
What, are you just catching and releasing?
No, they stock them. I catch to eat. Unless it's too small, then I'll release. Oh, okay. That one jumped out of the water. Yeah.
Holy cow. Double trout?
Yep, rainbow.
Good job.
Hold over. Ooh, that's a good sized one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow. I'm so glad we were here for that.
Alright, look away if you don't want to watch. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so that's the pike tool that I used, and that's the bat. So basically when it stops twitching, just know it's pretty much dead. And it's usually a second or two. Sometimes I'm just there, even though it's dead, I'm still skewering it with a pike just to make sure it's dead. And then I rinse it in the water and I put it in my cooler that's full of ice. There we go. Limit coming. Sniffling. So this method a while back, with Walden Pond and it's such a big, large area of water to cover, I just use these indicators. It's down here. And those are actually just, I forgot what you call them, but just something light enough where if the fish drags out, it'll go. And what I usually do is I let it hit the pole, and then I know I could probably set the hook. It won't get away. Some people don't use it. Some people use a bell, and it's whatever works. I don't even use those anymore, just because I don't need to. If I'll know when I have a trout, and it's just a small pond that I fish when they do stock it during the fall and spring, and also if I'm out in the streams in the creek, like Verdigris Creek where I go, I just use one reel really, because it's just so easy to catch them that if I do a two pole setup, it's just more time. I won't even be able to set the second pole up before I catch a trout. So let's just say it's not even worth it. What else can I say? All right, so you can watch me. I'm a little bit patient, and I got so good at this that depending on how that indicator went up and down, I'll know if I caught a yellow perch or a trout just because I fished that way for quite a while. It's not like a long while, maybe 1 to 2 years. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, it's Vil, VIL, not VAL, but yeah, he was a cool dude. Nice guy. Either snibbling or I got a yellow perch. We'll just wait and see. And again, you could see that it's raining. Snow's still out there. It's pretty cold, especially when it rains. So I was well prepared when I lived in Massachusetts to fish over on One Pond. It looks like a rainbow. And again, like how many people would know it's a rainbow or yellow perch? Like I just knew it was a rainbow just the way that it was pulling on that pole and the indicator moving. The other thing that I wanted to say, which I can't remember now, maybe I'll remember it again. But anyways, keep it going. I'm sorry, keep interrupting. Oh, I know. A trout, especially when they go after certain types of food, like a night crawler or a power bait doe, sometimes they'll nab it, and then they won't put it fully in their mouth. They'll just kind of keep it in their mouth and just kind of go, this is good, and they'll start swallowing it. If they don't like it, they'll spit it out. As far as I know, trout just do that naturally. I don't know why. And also on cold days like this, even though they like cold water and real well oxygenated water, they're pretty lethargic when it's too cold. So sometimes they'll actually just bite at the bait, and they'll just they won't even swim around. They'll just kind of swim and just kind of sit there, and it's like, oh, that was good, and I'm just gonna rest. They won't move around. Sometimes I've caught a fish, haven't seen the indicator move at all. I mean, just a little bit, but I'm thinking it's just the wind. And half an hour later, I just reel it in to recast, and I have a trout on the line, and I never knew I had one. So trout can be funny on very cold days. It's really odd. Gotta be patient. Okay, it's got it. Now I'm gonna set the hook. There we go. Sorry, buddy. Just so you know, it's been rainy all day, and then not raining. It was snowing, now it's not snowing. It's still raining though. Got my limit. See you guys later. And the limit in Massachusetts is 3 trout per day, and in Nebraska it's 5. As far as in 2019. I don't know if Massachusetts changed at all this year in 2019, but I assume it's still 3. Back then it was 3, and Nebraska is 5. So when you watch some of my videos, you'll see me catching 5 trout, unless I catch more and I put some of them back. And usually I will put a lot of the smaller ones back just because I can catch more. And sometimes I will, if I do catch 2 trout that's bigger than 16 inches, you have to put one back. So in Nebraska, you can only take home one trout that's over 16 inches, and your limit is 5. Now, certain restrictions are lifted if you go into certain areas where you get like a ticket. So there's a place in Omaha where they stock it pretty much year round. I guess the water is deep enough so they can survive. And you get a ticket, and then you purchase it. I think it's like $5 to $15. I can't remember. But you can catch 5 trout in that pond, and you can get another ticket. But I think the max ticket is 3, so you can take home 15 trout that you catch. So there is that. But for my family, I typically 3 trout can feed my entire family for one meal. Maybe a 4th trout for my dog, and but 4 is good because sometimes 3 trout I'm kind of hungry still afterwards. With 4 trout I'm full, and there's a little scrap left over for my dog. 5 will definitely feed me and my wife and my 2 kids and my dog, and there might be just a little left over for like the next day for lunch or something like that. But also depending on where I fish, so if I go to Vertcoin Creek, what I'll do is we'll have 3, because they're usually bigger than the trout that's stocked on near next to where I live. And so my neighbor, she has a huge garden. She's awesome. She gives us like tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that from her garden. And what I do is like we make fresh lemonade, or I'll catch a trout and I'll put it in. I'll fillet it for her so it's boneless, and put in like 1 pound Ziploc bag with water so she could freeze it, or she could just cook it that day. I asked her if she ate it like the first time I gave one to her, and she goes, yeah, and she liked it. So I give her about 2 fish fillets, so 4 fillets from 2 fish. Every time I go to Vertcoin Creek and back, just because I know she likes it. A lot of the water here is pretty murky, and so she I don't think she'll want to eat any of the fish that we catch from around here. But Vertcoin Creek, I mean, it's artesian spring. It's very clear, clean water, so she knows that, and she'll gladly take the trout. And of course, it's 90-minute drive. All right, let's see. Morrisville, Pennsylvania. That's where Kathy B used to live. Oh, Pennsylvania, they got some really good brook trout, natural brook trout. Hey, I got a notification. We need critical thinking. Where's Bob the drinking fisherman? He makes me smile and laugh. I don't know where Bob is. He complained last time that he couldn't make it. I guess he's gonna complain again. Before that, Kathy B lives here and raised crayfish. Haha. Yeah. I think it's just crayfish season's over. I should have gotten some a couple weeks ago. Let's see. But they put tree pulp in the water and they all died off. Oh, that sucks. What kind of tree pulp? Like, I do know, like, black walnut. If you put them in the water, there's a poison that's within the black walnuts that'll deoxygenate the water around there and paralyze the fish. I think there might be another toxin there. It's not toxic to humans, but to fish it is. So certain trees around certain bodies of water, you just want to be careful. It can kill fish and things that are in the water. Just something to know. Let's see. Lichens and moss? You mean like eating? Oh, I never tried that. Ever look into growing fish and edible plants with aquaponics? Yes, I did. We need critical thinking. I have. I really, really want to set that up. I don't think we have the equipment or the land or the money to do that, but eventually I will. I think if we had enough money, we could buy the side lot that's next to us, which is, I think, half an acre or maybe could be like 3/4 of an acre, 2 acres. I can't quite tell, but it's a good amount of land. We could probably raise chickens, and I could dig probably maybe a a well that's probably 4 times the size of typical wells that you would see in movies and things like that. Deep enough where hopefully it can get to the aquifer. And if I can do that, I can probably stock trout in there, and keep them growing, and use that water for the aquaponic system. Cherry bark can be poisonous too. Didn't know that. That's good to know. And what I loved watching were these survivor videos. I think I may just want to go and find some again, even though I know that they're not quite 100% real. Some of them do use or have used toxins from plants and berries and things like that, and trees, to paralyze the fish, because of course certain natives around different countries do that same thing. So I've never tried that, although I'm interested to try. I want to. The thing is, yeah, I don't want to do that in a lot of these waters. It would be like something to try out, I guess, if I was in survival mode. I mean, if I did in this local pond, people, and I can paralyze 20 fish, it's like, well, I can only take home 5. If no one's around, I just killed 15 fish. Also, like, if I want to do it in like the creek that's spring fed, it's like, oh man, it's such a beautiful clear pond. Why do I want to put like stuff that stains it and can kill off the fish? And yeah, it's just those things. It's like using a net for fishing, or a gill net and stuff. Effective, yes, but more than you're legally carried to take. Plus, it's just, I also would not want to fillet 20 trout in one day. 5 is a lot. 3 is okay. 5 is a lot. It gets to be a hassle. But yeah, just filleting fish. It just, even though it's quick, it's just messy and a bit time consuming. And with kids, it's all right. It is almost 15 minutes. I'll go for another 10 minutes if no one shows up. Meanwhile, I'll find some more videos of mine that I can play back, and let's go looking. Did I play all these? Pretty much, yeah. There is another one where I went fishing with my daughter. I wonder if I can find it. I mean, my daughter's in a couple of these videos. But there's one when I go fishing with my daughter, and it's basically ice fishing. Where did it go? Ice fishing. Maybe it's just not. Let's see. Oh, why is it doing that? I want to find from my videos. That sucks. I'd have to look for somewhere else. But I think there is one with my brother where we're this is one that I like. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait. I don't know who you're talking to. We need critical thinking. Liniment. Yeah, many trees do seem to be dying. All right. This was last year in Wyoming. Me and my brother. Piney Brook was where we fished. I was fishing somewhere else. But the thing about this one is we were looking. I was looking to fish all around these little brooks and stuff to see if. Plus, a lot of them had private residents around them, so had to look for public ones. And I found one that was maybe 8-minute drive from where we were staying at, and that's my thing. I still look around my area to find any secret natural springs, even if they're small, to see if there might be any surviving trout or yellow perch or some cold water fish that might be surviving in these waters next to where I live. And one of those things where you kind of keep secret if it's a small thing, because otherwise it gets overfished by fishermen. So I'm still trying to find something like that around here where I live, so I don't have to drive 90 minutes to catch trout. And this is a short video, so 46 seconds long. Good watch. That's big. That's like, it's got to be 18 inches at least. Nice. Man, makes mine look puny. Man, so I'm out of breath because I pretty much sprinted from where I was fishing, which is like 100 yards away, just so I could get my brother to film it. That's like that last fish that he caught. I wasn't there to catch it on video, but on this one I was heading back, and he said he caught another one, so I ran back, and I actually got this part. So that's why I don't have that many videos. And he caught I think he caught 4, and we took home 2 of his and just 1 of mine, and he let the other 2 go. My mother was like, let's eat all of them. It's like, no, we're not gonna be able to eat all of them. So but I mean, he just knew over these trees on the far side there's just gonna be a good spot, and that's where you catching them. And they're big over here. Yeah, you can let them go. I think the ones we got are good enough.
이건 놔뒀거든. 이거도 크다 봐라.
가져와 놔둬라. 가져와서 한 3개는 모아야지. 이거 가져가자. 그래, 원목도 가져가자.
2개 됐다.
3개면 된다. 3개 가져가자.
Alright. Alright. I didn't really have a measuring thing, unfortunately. I used my hands, but I had just a big can of sweet corn, just so you could kind of see how big they were. This is the one I caught, and it was not very big. My brother cut these 2. That one, the girth was just as round as that can of sweet corn, and it's probably about 2.5 lengths. So yeah, it's pretty big. So those 3 we couldn't even finish. With my brother, my mother, me, my wife, and my daughter. My son wasn't eating at that point. So 5 of us, we couldn't finish those 3. We pretty much fed it to the dogs, the leftovers, since we were leaving the next day. But they tasted good, I will say that. Brown trout. Usually I don't like brown trout too much. I love rainbow, but brown trout, these tasted really good. Okay, 5 minutes left. Let's see. Oh, bunch. We need critical thinking, Kathy. Talking a lot of good stuff. There was a book I was gonna want to read, which I'll get to. There's videos that I wanted to put out today I didn't get to. I think I may do it tomorrow. On Thursday at noon, I have a video with Marty Leeds. In case he gets busy and not able to make it, pretty much it's set. So look for that. I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me on All Things Fishing. Again, it's kind of a random talk. I just show a couple of videos. I didn't even show the video that I made a while ago. Why don't I just do that? Now, you can look for a lot of my videos. It'll always have fishing on them. And of course, you don't have to worry about all the intros and things like that. You can just go ahead and watch it. And they'll be in 1440 resolution, although I think it's just upscaled just because my video editing, I keep it at 1440. And just like that one, it's great. Sometimes you can just hear the crickets. That one, I tried a new spot. This was above Grove Lake, where the water runs off the lake down into the East Branch Verdigris Creek. And I wanted to try that new spot, even though there's a lot of algae and stuff that comes down from it. It wasn't as clear, and it was very slippery because it rained that day. And well, I didn't catch anything except for a lot of those small largemouth bass. So I went back to the south part of Grove Lake where the creek meets the lake. And there was I went further south. I start further south where it's downriver or downstream, sorry. And then I just go upstream until I reach this point. And this point has a pretty large wide area. There's no one there today, or not today, that day. And so if you're fly fishing, I mean, that's perfect because you won't get in other people's way. They won't get in your way. And the thing is, if you're going to fish, because they're kind of they're at the bottom and they have a little bit of underwater footage. As you can see here, you can see on the bottom left, you'll see one of the trout. And I think that's a brown trout. That's not a rainbow trout. That's a brown trout just hanging out. There's a couple of rainbows behind it. You can tell it by the spots. So you'll see it coming across again. You can see those, if there's spots on a trout, it's going to be a brown trout or a brook trout. And here there aren't any brook trout. There are brown trout. So it's kind of nice to be able to get some underwater. And of course, this part of the stream is still pretty fast and you get a lot of debris, so it's not crystal clear. I think I want to go back someday to catch more trout and put the underwater footage in that new spot where you can actually see bubbles coming out from where the spring is going. So, and I'll be using Tenkara rods, so it's gonna be the Tenkara rod challenge. If I can find my fly fishing rod that my brother gave me, I might use that. But otherwise, you can see there were, I'd say, at least 7 or 8 trout that were there. They weren't that big though, and they're just waiting to see what they could the stream is going to take towards them for food. I've tried. I mean, I could see them, but they were spooked. They saw me, and so they weren't biting at anything I threw at their way, whether it was nightcrawler or flies or power bait dough or whatever. So I went to a new spot, and this is my new favorite spot. The water is so clear I could see the trout from above. The current of the stream isn't that strong, and so you won't see too many debris, and so the fish are just going to be waiting and just seeing all the stuff that's coming down, and they're going to have time to see something and they'll get it. So I got trout really fast from here, and it was pretty fun. And this is where I'm going to do the Tenkara rod. There's so many bushes around that a fly fishing rod would work. You just won't cast it very far. A Tenkara rod would be perfect here, so that's what I want to use when I come here next time. Like one thing is like using my method here with the worm, having it drift on a spinning rod. It's just a little bit too easy. I mean, I caught these fish probably within 15 minutes. It was that quick because it was getting late and I needed to pick up my daughter, so I had to leave. But I mean, it was really quick catching the fish from here, and pretty much every time I go down to Verdigris Creek, I'm always at a different spot because I want to try out different spots. I think I may even go way further south or something like that. And see how that goes. So we'll see. It's something I just love exploring. That's part of the fun. Okay, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, it's just kind of a one-off, right? Just talking about a topic that, well, I enjoy, and that's about it. I guess that's a rarity, huh? Because I don't seem to do that as much anymore. A lot more important stuff coming. You may not like it, and again, that's probably why I don't get a lot of viewers. I talk about stuff that people don't like talking about. Okay, I'll see you guys another night. Thanks for stopping by.